Part 1. The Puppet Strings of Predictability. The world is a stage where most men are puppets. They move in rhythm, not to their own song, but to the tune others have chosen for them. They speak when they're told, react when provoked, desire when tempted. And in their blindness, they believe this is freedom. Machiavelli observed this centuries ago. He who becomes predictable becomes vulnerable. Yet men continue to offer their minds on silver platters, displaying their emotions like open wounds, easily read and easily used. Watch how men act when they want something: lust, approval, validation. Their movements betray them. Their faces confess what their words try to hide. Their attention gives power to the one who least deserves it. A man who can be read is a man who can be ruled. Machiavelli knew that control begins not with domination, but with mystery. Those who cannot be anticipated cannot be controlled. Every powerful figure, every conqueror, every manipulator, they share one thing: they never reveal their full hand. Caesar smiled as he approached betrayal. Alexander laughed at the uncertainty of war. The strong move as if guided by something deeper than impulse. And that's what separates them from the masses. Not their resources, not their armies, but their ability to remain unpredictable. The crowd fears what it cannot anticipate. Machiavelli didn't write for the weak. He wrote for those willing to see the world not as it should be, but as it is, a chessboard where sentiment is a liability. Men who follow instinct alone are pawns. Men who master instinct, those are the players. He warned, if others can predict your moves, you have already lost. So, ask yourself, how predictable are you? Do you speak every thought that enters your mind? Do you let anger guide your tone, attraction dictate your focus, comfort soften your edge? Every habit, every repeated behavior becomes a map, and your enemies will learn to read it. But there is another way, a rarer, colder way, a method that Machiavelli implied but never named. A way to exist between chaos and control, to be both feared and admired, desired but unreachable. We will get there. But first, we must strip away your illusions, the lies that make you easy to read. Part 2. The Mask of Control. Every man wears a mask. The question is, does he know it? Most men wear theirs unknowingly. They mimic the emotions of others, seeking belonging. They smile when expected, frown when offended, lust when teased. They wear their hearts on their sleeves, unaware they've built their own cage. Machiavelli would have called them men of the crowd, driven by emotion, governed by pattern, predictable to the core. The mask you must learn to wear is not a disguise, it is armor. It's the art of silence in a world addicted to reaction. When provoked, you observe. When insulted, you smile. When desired, you remain still. Each moment you refuse to respond on instinct, you deny the world the satisfaction of knowing you. That is power, quiet, psychological, divine. Machiavelli wrote that a prince should appear merciful, faithful, humane, honest, and religious, but only appear so. The world is moved by perception, not truth. The wise man commands perception like a weapon. The fool reveals himself in the first 5 seconds. In modern times, this mask isn't made of velvet or metal, it's made of discipline. When others over-explain, you say less. When others chase, you withdraw. When others demand, you offer nothing. You will feel the pull, the desire to reveal yourself, to be understood. Resist it. Predictability is built from the need to be known. Power begins when you let that need die. The mask is not dishonesty. It's restraint. It's control over the chaos that lives inside you. The urges, the emotions, the hunger for recognition. When you master that chaos, others feel it. They sense something dangerous in your calmness. They start to question what you're capable of, and that question is the foundation of fear. Look at history's giants: Napoleon, Lincoln, Miyamoto Musashi. Each mastered silence as a weapon. They rarely spoke of intent, rarely revealed emotion. When they did act, the world trembled, because their actions carried the weight of mystery. A single move meant everything. And you, if you learn this, become the same. Unpredictable not because you're erratic, but because you are unreadable. The crowd can't place you. The manipulators can't lure you. The world can't control you. The mask becomes your second skin. Behind it, the hidden trait grows stronger. You're not ready to name it yet, but soon you'll understand. This is not about deceit. It's about evolution. Part 3. The Stillness Before Power. Power doesn't announce itself. It moves quietly, like fog over a battlefield. By the time others recognize it, it's already surrounded them. This stillness, the ability to wait, to restrain, to hold, is what separates rulers from the ruled. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. He saw that the weak rush forward when stirred by emotion. The strong, however, wait until every variable bends in their favor. Their silence unnerves the impulsive. Their patience bleeds power. You've seen this dynamic before. The one who speaks less in a room commands more attention. The one who listens instead of defending is always more respected. The one who does not react terrifies. Why? Because unpredictability breeds fear, and fear breeds obedience. But stillness is not passive. It's strategic. It's the gathering of momentum beneath the surface, the preparation for an exact strike. Those who misunderstand this believe restraint is weakness. They couldn't be more wrong. Stillness is the most dangerous form of movement. It gives you time to study, adapt, and position yourself. Think of Machiavelli's prince. He acts not from emotion, but necessity. He knows that a single word, spoken at the wrong time, can destroy a kingdom. And yet, most men today spill their kingdoms daily, through overexposure, overreaction, and overconfidence. They tell everyone what they're thinking. They announce their plans, their goals, their desires. They leave no mystery, no tension, no fear. Stillness keeps your enemies guessing. It keeps your rivals confused. It allows your actions to hit harder because no one expects them. This is the first layer of the hidden trait, the mastery of composure. You will begin to notice it in yourself. When provoked, you'll feel the urge to react, and you'll stop. When tempted, you'll feel the pull, and you'll smile at it. When uncertain, you'll wait. The longer you resist the need to prove yourself, the stronger your presence becomes. Others will project meaning onto your silence, crafting myths around your restraint. Let them. Their imagination will work for you. The stillness you cultivate becomes magnetic. It draws curiosity, respect, even fear, all without a word. And yet, this is not the end. Stillness alone is powerful, but it's incomplete. Because what follows stillness, what lives inside it, is the true force Machiavelli hinted at but never named. You've tasted control. Now, you will learn domination. Part 4. The Art of Invisible Influence. When Machiavelli wrote The Prince, he described a ruler who could command without raising his voice, one whose mere presence bent others into compliance. But what he never stated directly is that this power doesn't come from aggression. It comes from invisible influence, the ability to control without being seen. This is where the hidden trait begins to take shape: detachment. To detach is to operate above emotion, outside the reach of manipulation. You become the observer rather than the participant. You watch desires rise and fall in others, lust, greed, anger, but you do not share in them. And because you don't, you control them. Detach from reaction, and you will own the rhythm of every room you walk into. Others will feel drawn to you, not understanding why. Your lack of need creates gravity. You become the silent center around which chaos spins. Machiavelli's prince understood this. He appeared human, approachable, even gentle, but behind that facade was calculation so precise it frightened allies and enemies alike. Detachment doesn't mean apathy. It means control. It means knowing exactly how much emotion to show and when to withdraw it. You become unpredictable because no one can gauge your motives. One day you are warm, the next indifferent. One day engaged, the next silent. The uncertainty drives others to chase your approval, to explain themselves, to earn back the version of you they can no longer predict. This is psychological warfare, quiet, elegant, devastating. Machiavelli's entire philosophy is built on this. Appear accessible, but never be accessible. Make them think they know you, but never let them hold the truth. In relationships, in power struggles, in everyday life, detachment gives you control over the battlefield of emotion. Others are enslaved by reaction. You observe. Others are consumed by lust or pride. You see through it. Their weakness becomes your opportunity. Because when they're blinded by desire, you're still watching. When they move impulsively, you've already positioned yourself 3 steps ahead. The hidden trait is sharpening. It is not charm, nor cunning, nor patience alone. It's the merging of all 3 into one principle. the ability to remain untouched. The world will call it coldness. They will call it arrogance. But that's only because they can't control it, and what can't be controlled must be feared. The next step is the transformation, when detachment stops being a mask and becomes your nature. When unpredictability stops being an act and becomes your essence. That's when you cross from power into dominance. Part 5. Becoming the storm they can't predict. At first, silence unsettles people. Then it terrifies them. But what comes after that, after you've mastered stillness and detachment, is unpredictability itself. The moment when people realize they can no longer read you, predict you, or even categorize you, their instinctive sense of control collapses. Machiavelli understood this long before psychology gave it language. To be feared is simple. To be loved, even simpler. But to be unreadable, that is divine. The unreadable man forces others to reveal themselves. They speak too much. They act too soon. They try to understand you, but in doing so, expose their own weaknesses. You are not chaotic. You are deliberate chaos. Your unpredictability isn't randomness, it's strategy. You choose your moments of warmth and withdrawal with surgical precision. A smile that appears once in 100 glances. A word spoken after a week of silence. Each small action sends shockwaves because no one can anchor their expectations around you. You've become the moving target of human behavior, and people hate targets they can't pin down. This is why Machiavelli warned rulers to learn how not to be good. Not because he endorsed evil, but because he understood that moral predictability is weakness. If your every move follows a pattern of virtue, your enemies will anticipate you. Your allies will use your goodness as leverage. Predictability is not morality, it's exposure. So you must confuse them. You must blur the lines between mercy and cruelty, logic and madness, friend and foe. Every so often, act in contradiction to your image. Help someone no one expected you to help. Refuse something everyone thought you'd take. Your unpredictability will make your motives impossible to map, and that uncertainty will keep everyone orbiting you, afraid to assume, afraid to act without your cue. The beauty of unpredictability is that it turns the entire world into your stage. Every interaction becomes a test. Every silence, a mirror. You begin to see how others operate, not by what they say, but by how they react to what you don't. And soon, you'll realize something deeper. Unpredictability doesn't just protect you. It transforms you. It frees you from your own patterns. You stop acting out of habit or fear of perception. You start acting out of pure strategy. Every move you make becomes intentional, not emotional. This is where unpredictability stops being a tool and becomes an aura. You'll no longer need to force it. People will simply sense it in your presence. That feeling of danger mixed with composure, of warmth that might disappear at any second. The most powerful form of unpredictability is an action, its existence. And that brings us to the final evolution, the point beyond strategy. The moment when unpredictability becomes identity. Part 6. The unreadable man. There comes a point in every ruler's ascent when he stops trying to control the game, because he is the game. Machiavelli hinted at this when he wrote, "A wise ruler ought never to keep faith, when by doing so it would be against his interest." He wasn't teaching betrayal. He was teaching transformation, the ability to shift shape without losing essence, to change paths without changing purpose. This is the ultimate form of power, to be unreadable because you've transcended definition. The unreadable man has no consistent rhythm, yet everything he does carries meaning. He speaks softly, but when he does, the room stills. He moves calmly, but those around him feel the tension of a predator choosing when to strike. He has emotion, but emotion never has him. His silence doesn't signal weakness, it signals calculation. People will call him mysterious. Some will call him cold. Others will say he's too controlled. But secretly, they all crave his presence, because unpredictability excites the human mind. It stirs both fear and fascination. It reminds people of danger, of mystery, of something greater than themselves. To reach this level, you must kill two illusions: the need to be understood and the need to be liked. These are chains disguised as virtues. The world teaches men to be transparent, expressive, predictable, to trade mystery for approval. But Machiavelli knew that approval is fleeting, while fear and respect endure. The unreadable man chooses respect. He lets misunderstanding protect him. He lets distance create desire. And most importantly, he lets silence do the work his words never could. At this stage, unpredictability is no longer performance, it's instinct. You move with purpose, but no one knows what drives it. You may show kindness, but no one trusts its source. You may withdraw, but no one knows whether it's strategy or disdain. You've become what every power seeker fears most, a force that cannot be manipulated. And yet, there's beauty in this darkness. Because unpredictability, when refined, doesn't just make you powerful, it makes you free. Free from reaction, free from temptation, free from the noise that governs lesser men. When you reach this point, you stop asking how to win, because you realize that the moment you became unreadable, you already had. The final lesson of Machiavelli's hidden trait is this: control is not about holding everything in your hands. It's about making others believe you could, at any moment, and still choosing not to. So move silently, speak rarely, reveal nothing. Let them guess, let them wonder, let them fear. And when they think they've figured you out, change everything.